Dawn Butler's endorsement of a post describing Kemi Badenoch as representing white supremacy in blackface is indeed troubling and highlights a destructive form of interracial language, a sort of interracial critique. And this language not only reflects an unproductive form of identity-based vitriol, but also evokes comparisons with historically offensive media like the black and white minstrel show. Once that show was celebrated as innocent entertainment, and this program attempted to engage audience with stereotypes dressed in acceptable humour. Though the show lacked malicious intent and aimed to entertain, it ultimately became synonymous with racial insensitivity, rightly fading from mainstream acceptance. As awareness grew, I think the last black and white minstrel show took place in about 1989 in Barry Island or something. But I mean, all the way through the 1970s, not only was this show on mainstream BBC TV, but it was also in Victoria Palace, just outside Victoria Station, every night, doing tremendous sales. And the question of racial inappropriateness was already there in the 1960s, in the early 1960s. And there was one series which was tried without blacking up, without makeup. And it wasn't successful. And the following year they went back to doing their sort of English version of the minstrel shows. It was even parodied on what was Are You Being Served? And to talk about white supremacy and blackface is really disturbing. In her repost, Butler seems to align herself with rhetoric that intentionally or not conjures up these old harmful stereotypes, casting Badenoch's ideological positions as fundamentally betraying her racial identity. Such a stance risks transforming political debate into a theatre of insult rather than engagement, particularly when this type of language is wielded by a public figure. By echoing tropes like house Negro or coconut, I can't believe I'm hearing those things, which carry historical weight as insults within the black community. Butler, an MP, and others sharing this rhetoric open the door to age-old stereotypes and exclusory ideas, rather than fostering a robust, ideological, mature, diverse dialogue. The whole point about diversity is that people of different backgrounds can embrace different positions with equal right. I don't like Kemi Badenoch, but I will support her to the hilt against somebody who is accusing her of this sort of pseudo-racism. It's repulsive. It's repulsive. And contrastingly, Labour leader Keir Starmer's congratulatory tone towards Badenoch's achievement illustrates a level of respect which is appropriate, and recognition of her leadership milestone, the first black woman as a leader of a political party in Britain. That is something to be celebrated, even if you don't like Kemi Badenoch. Even if Keir Starmer and Badenoch differ politically, this inclusive approach stands in stark contrast to Butler's, reminding us that diverse political voices, including those of black conservatives, are essential to a representative democracy. If Starmer wishes to steer Labour into a place of progressive inclusivity, he may need to condemn this sort of language, highlighting that respectful debate should transcend personal attacks based on identity and colour. The reaction to Butler's post offers a glimpse into a troubling double standard in political discourse. Imagine if a Conservative had used such language towards a black Labour MP. The uproar would have been fierce, potentially career-ending. That Butler's repost has not attracted an immediate reprimand speaks to a need for a consistent standard in condemning rhetoric that undermines constructive political debate. In the end, Butler's repost is a sharp reminder of the importance of keeping political debate respectful, particularly when discussing issues of race and ideology. And regardless of one's stance, the focus should remain on policy and issues rather than on demeaning identity-based insults, particularly regarding colour. Britain, diverse and multifaceted, deserves a political discourse that rises above these divisive tactics and instead emphasises the merits and the drawbacks of policies, ideologies, leadership styles, character. One of the other things I find so irritating, quite beyond the tribalism that emerges so often in YouTube, is the idea that if one attacks the character of a political leader and she happens to be a woman, then immediately one is branded attacking or misogynist. This is as perverse as this as Dawn Butler's absurdity. There's white supremacy and blackface, as if everybody who is black must automatically be endorsing the Labour Party. It simply isn't true. It isn't appropriate. It's demeaning. And I think fundamentally it's racist.